Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. They call me Chris of the Northwest. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're pulling out the flannel, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Look at you, flannel boy. Right here in the Northwest. How
Got a little chilly this morning.
Flannelgram.
There you go. All right. Well, tonight, the plan is to talk about iCaching. But as you can see, those astute viewers who are watching live, we are sans guest this morning. Pronounced that horribly, but it's we don't have a guest yet. He may join late, and we'll talk about our topic. Otherwise, we'll just wing it and chat with you fine folks. Because
Jim, I noticed you said this morning, and I think that's a reference to the fact that our guest is joining us from morning his time.
He's in a morning time zone, yeah. So that's what we're operating under, the assumption that the morning just didn't go as planned.
That's right. No worries. And this is the beauty of a live podcast, right? We don't do a lot of things ahead of time as far as recording our guests and such. We do on occasion, but we found that it's much better to have the guest live and interact with our audience than to have a pre-recorded segment. So, folks, it's all on you tonight.
You're about to see how we roll.
This is right. This is how the sausage is made. And as we always say, live audience, we want to hear from you because, well, tonight you may be the show. We'll see. But it'll be great. It's going to be a fun night. Mm-hmm. Thursday night at 9, we talk about caching, that Chris guy and me. And of course, we got to also bring in our Macintosh marmoset. Some say he was the original model for Gumby. And others say he made a nun cry because he told her she had a nasty habit. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Too good. Hey, yep. And wherever our guest is, whatever's going on, we hope everything's okay for him.
That's right.
Morning. And we look forward to a future episode where he'll be able to join us. And quite frankly, folks, if he does manage to connect in behind the scenes while we're going, we may just pivot. Right. That's right. Well, before we do any of that pivoting, a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to the ever-traveling Land Sharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Remember those new hours at the Sharks store? Remember that there's always new cruises and experiences coming up. So just check the Land Sharks, LANDSHA.z.ca.
So easy for you to say.
At least once. And all the info will be there that you need to find. And don't forget our other corporate Denali level sponsor. That is Gold Country Geotourism. Explore goldcountry.com. Visit them there to learn more about the geotours, the region, everything else that's going on and the fun to be had. Don't forget to download the app. And folks, let me tell you a little something. Let me tell you a little story. If you want to know more about supporting this podcast, well, you can click that Patreon link right over there, right there on the cachingandw.com, a website.
Yes. Hey, it's Gilby weekend. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Well,
tell me
finding our way. I was just going to mention that it's Gilby Gone Wild weekend. I wish I was there. Genies is heading northwest to cache this weekend to Gilby Gone Wild. Maybe that's how we have to say it.
A big event.
Sounds like a fun time. I'd love to go to Gilby someday.
You do not know Gilby? A year ago, we talked about Gilby.
I think I missed that episode. I think I was on assignment, as we like to say, that episode, so I missed it. I am familiar with Gilby, so I understand that is the town with the Geo Tour and I think geocaches.
I don't know if there's a tour.
Okay. Well, there's a famous set of geocaches there.
Mhm.
I thought
There
they
are
had
some
geocaches.
epic geocaches there, I'm told. Yeah.
There you go.
It was a fun
And
episode.
yeah, and it's in North Dakota.
I believe
Yes,
that's true.
exactly.
Wow, that is pretty impressive U.S. geography for me. I'm just going to applaud myself here.
Yeah, don't hurt yourself patting yourself on the back there. You
Uh,
twist your arm or anything.
I probably will. So I'm going to need the rest of the podcast off. Thank you very much.
I'll be off permanently.
I'll be in my bunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, folks, it's time for the glow. And some may have asked, what is the glow? My timing
Some
was bad because
some
Landman
may
can't even
have,
drink.
but
Hmm?
okay, I'll ask.
Sorry?
What is a glow?
Why, thank you for asking.
Have asked.
The glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to know about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call in to 253-693-TFTC and show us how you glow. Now, tonight's glow is by the Gilby Queen herself.
Hmm.
Well, was sent in by the Gilby
There's a Gilby
herself.
Queen?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, see how much you miss with one
I
episode?
didn't realize there was royalty associated with Gilby.
It's like missing that one day at school and you never learn fractions. Right.
Yeah, the
again.
one day at school I missed. Right. Okay.
You may have applauded yourself too early there, sir.
Eh,
Yes,
it's never
this
too
cache.
early to applaud oneself.
In
That's why.
fact, I think this glow, not cache, this glow may have been submitted during an episode because I remember geocaches saying, "Hey, I just submitted a glow. I sent a glow submission for." So this glow did come in via email from geocaches.
Hold on. I'm reading the show notes. And did it come in from geocaches?
Yes.
Geocaches submitted via email. Highest known ascent, Carrie Slew. The
No,
log
hold
was
on. It says
found by
Gaia
JT Coffee.
Caches.
Yeah, geocaches is the name. I can read it even when it's misspelled.
I don't know what you're talking about. It clearly says
There's
geocaches.
geocaches there to me.
The miracle of editing.
So she submitted the glow. The glow was written by JT Coffee.
Oh,
So Team Lackeys for the win here
no kidding.
on the glow.
Gas
And it
station
was-
tuner remembers when it happened.
There you go. So highest known ascent, Carrie Slew.
Oh,
JT Coffee writes, I needed a multi to wrap up the Wheel of Challenges promo for this month, so I decided to pop over and grab this one today. Now, I'm pretty sure that she knew that because it was written in a notebook. Just saying.
You think?
bet.
Yeah.
Safe bet.
Yeah.
I'm jealous
so
of those notebooks.
Well, she decided to just pop over and grab this one. Just kidding, she says. And here's the real story. Last night, Geocaches and I were working our way through the slough to pick up as many paddle caches as we could. We have a goal, thanks to a challenge, of course, to pick up as many as we can while the weather is still favorable. So we headed there this weekend for a paddle fest. It was ambitious to go after this one, and we discussed the difficulty, terrain, the amount of light left, and then decided we'd never be closer to it than we are now, and we decided to leave if it took too long and light became an issue. So they're planning ahead. That's good. The water is very low, and I was grateful to lay flat on my board for a few of the twists and turns, and I'm happy to report that we got within 17 feet of the preform before we had to stop due to impassable branches. From there, we headed to waypoint 2. Much thinking and deducing later, we determined likely final coordinates. From there, we decided to continue circumnavigating Carey Island, emphasis for my point later, she says. They circumnavigated counterclockwise. At the western corner, we were abruptly confronted with the reality that it was, in fact, a land bridge that connected it, not a bridge one could simply float under, and therefore, I'd like to point out, not an island. Fair point.
touche.
This was not good news for us and the amount of daylight we had. We'd certainly be able to make it back, but we explored portaging first. It was almost as if we'd tried to do too much in one day. Close, but not quite. This exploration landed us on the property of a kind farmer who found our disheveled, seaworthy selves and offered us a ride back to the dock to shorten the paddle back. Well, why not? So we loaded the boats and ourselves on the back of the flatbed and rode a few miles down the road to put in again and get back to the Geomobile. Now to today. Never discouraged, we put in at the park once again and headed straight to our suspected final coordinates and started searching. This time, the tide was way out. It was nice to paddle with less wind in our faces, but the tide being out added a few challenges. Namely, the cache ended up being higher than my head and was a bit of a mucky trek to get to. But our names are on the log.
Wow.
I love a good adventure, and anyone on the river that morning knew when we found that cache since we were so excited. Thanks for inspiring such a fun trek.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is an epic adventure for sure. Wow.
Love it. Yeah. So, you have plans going out. At least they weighed the chances going forward, what
Yes.
happens if,
Mhm.
Yep.
right? And, you got to take your chances sometimes.
Yep.
And if it doesn't work out, walk away or catch a ride.
And wisely, well, and I was going to speak to the catch a ride part. Wisely, they spoke to somebody with a flatbed truck, not somebody on a ride-on mower. So
That's right. Yeah.
clearly aware of the rules.
It'll
If
all
it
work
was
out
a
in the end.
ride-on mower, they'd probably still be on that island.
It could
even
be,
though there's a land bridge.
even though it's not an island. Yeah.
It's more ismith, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Well, yeah, if it's a constant land bridge or if it, anyways, yes, let's go with that.
Oh, thank you for the glow tonight. And since we don't have a guest, we're going to jump on with a few more glows.
Ooh.
So, gentlemen, if you're willing to scroll down a bit, I'll paste a couple of glows into the. This looks like a good one. In fact, Wits End sent this in.
I did. Oh no.
Let's see, here's a nice spot. Let's paste it in there.
Great.
You know, I've been writing some glow-worthy logs lately, and I keep forgetting to send them in.
Well, how would I know if you did that?
I know I'm a
Now,
bad example. Don't do like me.
Don't be land monkey. Be better. Send in your glows.
Is that really possible?
Oh, yes. I mean, without a shadow of a doubt. Yes.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Good night.
Thank you, Gumby. What was the name of Gumby's horse?
Pokey.
Pokey, yeah. And the blockheads. Did the
And the
blockheads have
blockheads.
names? Yeah. You remember the blockheads? What were the blockheads' names?
I don't remember the blockheads.
I don't know. I
They'll
know
show up
Ramones
in the
names.
chat soon. You know Ramon's name? What?
I know the Ramones names,
Oh, okay.
but it's not
That's
the same as the blockheads. I didn't know
Ramon
if it was like
1, Ramon 2, Ramon 3.
I didn't know if we were like naming members of punk bands or something. The blockheads just sounds like a punk band.
Bingo, Bango, Bongo, and Irving.
That's right. Hey, if you want to add to tonight's show, the new hashtag for tonight is hashtag glow.
Ooh.
It will be a show of glows. So thank you for sending in the longer glows. You may think, I sent in a glow so long ago and he's never read it. Does he not like me?
Probably.
Well, that could be true.
I know he doesn't like me.
That's why I don't bother sending any in.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I do save the longer glows for just such an occasion. So rarely do we read really long glows during the show, but you know what? Some of those are the best. And if we need them, I like to keep them in reserve. So continue to send in your glows. If you don't hear it, there may be a reason why.
Probably so.
Yeah. So you can also use the hashtag FATAS to bring up something for the after show that's maybe not glow related. Tell us, what you're planning this weekend. Why Brylang is Fordless. We don't know why, but apparently he is in the in this chat. He mentions he's Fordless tonight. And you can also use the dual hashtags of podcast baking and podcast drinking to tell us how you're fortifying yourself this evening.
That's right.
Question.
Yes.
Will we ever have hashtag for a show?
Ooh.
Well, if we do, Seabeck Tribe is ready with Octothorpe.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Hashtag Octothorpe.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Now, do we spell out the second hashtag?
I would think hashtag, and then you spell out hashtag.
Well,
Or just write hashtag.
See, I think that's cheating. The hashtag, the Octothorpe. So, Wits End.
Somebody put in a Pentathorpe, would you?
Oh, can you do that?
I don't know. We'll find out. Yes, sir.
Would
Mr.
you like?
of
Oh,
the
you just
Northwest.
read a glow. Land Monkey,
did.
would you like to read Wits End's glow?
Especially since I don't remember sending it in. But
Do I have permission, Jim, to read your glow?
read away.
Wow. This is an honor.
I don't. Does this say? Did I do that? I don't know.
It was
Send via
submitted by
Twitter.
you via Twitter. I don't know when.
Twitter. I don't remember when I did it, and I don't remember.
Writing this?
I didn't write this.
So you found it. And submitted.
Maybe I don't know. Read away. I'll enjoy it right along with you because
Okay.
I'm drawing a total blank.
Well, I can guarantee this is going to be an attempt at cold reading for me, which I am not as good at as Jim. So
You'll do great.
I won't be patting myself on the back after this one.
It's
But
the best second glow of the night.
there you go. The second best glow of the night. Hey, so this is submitted by Wits End via Twitter. It is for GC4 Tango 23. That sounds like fun. Tango 23. That's how you count the steps, right?
Yeah.
And it begins with, let me start this off by saying this was the single worst geocaching experience I have ever had. All right, good hook. All right. Today was my second day as a sophomore at Removed for Privacy High School. Okay, so this probably wasn't
me.
All right. One of my classes, AP European History, is widely regarded as the most challenging class at the high school. Needless to say, I got a little bit frustrated with the college level textbook and went on a geocaching adventure. This cache happens to be one that I have been wanting to visit for a while now. After a removed mile bike ride to ground zero, whoever this is really trying to make sure that there's no traceable evidence here.
I searched the geocache. It's a cacher named Tom G or Tom Gee. I don't know. It's
Okay.
GEE. So Tom_G.
All right. But we'll never know where the high school is nor how far the bike ride was.
That's
But
right.
continuing on. I headed into the woods. For those who aren't familiar, there are two good ways to get to the cache. One is a straight shot to where my phone was taking me, and the other one goes over a creek. Me, being a rambunctious, shorts-wearing teenager, decided to hop over the creek and success! Yours truly made it over the creek. I then grabbed my phone to pinpoint the cache, and while doing so, I can't find my pen. Where could it be? In the bag attached to my bike, of course, across the creek. This time, I wasn't feeling too confident in my long jumping abilities that I do not possess, and after analyzing the situation, I decided the best option was to cross the creek on a fallen log. Slowly, I crept out onto the end of the log, and kerplunk, there I go. Both feet into the water up to my knees, I quickly scrambled back to my bicycle, grabbed my pen, and sat down to rid myself of wet socks and shoes. But I had not found what I was looking for. The cache. A little bit more confident this time, I leap across the creek in hopes to find what I was looking for, and after around 10 minutes of searching, I give up, head back to the bicycle, and left with little to no dignity and wet shoes. P.S. It's not a good idea to wear shorts into Dante's Inferno. It's cursed.
Okay.
There you go.
The name of the cache is Don't Wear Shorts into Dante's Inferno. And that log that you just read was posted on the 7th of September 2022. So it was a year ago. 2.5, 3 weeks later, excuse me, Tom G posted another log that says, another DNF, by the way, leaving empty-handed again. I didn't fall into the creek this time. I found a few very likely spots, but no cache in hand. And I'd like to point out those 2 logs from a year ago are the most recent 2 logs on the cache.
Oh,
Oh,
I was going to
So
ask if anyone's found it since.
no,
Wow.
it's near Minneapolis. So if anybody's back in Minnesota,
Minnesota.
go check it out and see if you can find that one. But
Gilby's not that far from Minnesota.
right, yeah, just don't wear shorts into Dante's Inferno.
Gilby's
It's
not that
cursed.
far from Minnesota. I get it. I get a feeling like Gilby's not that far from Minnesota, like Tacoma's not that far from Vancouver
Or Gilby. Yeah.
or Gilby. I mean, you could totally drive there,
That's why they have roads.
right?
Could drive anywhere, eventually, once. May not drive back out. May have to
May not even make it to your destination.
reattach your spoiler with zip ties, but you know.
I don't know that story.
What else we got?
Okay. Well, I think I've got 2 of them separated here.
Okay.
Or not separated. So the first one, this should be a normal glow. So this one's from BC Rock Crawler. I attended an event, a stranger in a strange land event cache. This was the log from Revel Dogs. It was a great event, met some names that I could put faces to. And then I met Geotick. What a treat. He told me to dine and dash. So off I went, leaving BC Rock Crawler to pick up the tab.
Wow. Okay. Don't do that to BC Rock Crawler. There's my public service announcement.
Don't to anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that was attached to this next one. There should have been a break in there, but there wasn't. So
Okay.
Gotta Love Tattoos sent one via email on GC18JRE. That's just ready to eat, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
And dash.
And then dash.
Okay, so I was in the area picking up some stuff from school and checked out the caches in the area.
Is it an undisclosed school?
No, I had to go look. Is this the same one? I thought this would be a bit of an easy one, a walk through the woods, and I was excited to see a silo from the previous pictures, even though this hasn't been found in over 3 years. How wrong I was. The waypoint puts you to enter the woods near a blue post. So that's what I did. And I was greeted by a hike up through the woods on a 2-to-1 slope. I did get to see a little deer I spooked. Finally, I got to the top of the hill and started trekking it through the woods in the direction of the cache. Much to my surprise, I ran into a trail and took it in the direction of the cache. Looks like a dirt bike or quad heaven because these trails had a little bunker hut. But what goes up must come. I suppose down should come next. And
Yeah,
I followed the trail down, headed for GZ. I came across 6 or 7 little balls of feathers running around on the ground on the trail. Probably could have touched the sleeping mama turkey if I wasn't so intent on getting to my destination. Finally, I get to within 50 feet and still no sign of the silo. But I've spotted the old foundation and that is mentioned, so I head over. I'm at ground zero. No silo to be seen. The silo is gone. Arrgh. At this point, I'm hot. I'm sweaty. No silo. I need water. And I start poking around the foundation and thanks heavens, I find the cache. Opened it up and I see that 2 people signed it in 2022. I wonder if it was an accidental find or they just didn't log it. Who knows? I did leave a sticker tucked in the logbook for safekeeping and took an arrowhead, signed the log, re-hit as found. Then, I love it when it starts off with then I started heading back to leave and I followed the trail back up the hill through the woods.
Grandma's house.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out where I had come up to meet the trail. So I continue it all the way down. And much to my surprise, it took me right out down the road just before the speed limit sign. Finally, I get back to my truck, more hot, more sweaty. So I crank the AC and chug some water. Now my legs are feeling like jello. I cursed that hike the whole time, but it was definitely a good cache experience. And it was for my 150th find. Woohoo! So, my suggestions for anyone who's going to give this one a go: wear good tennis shoes or hiking boots. Pants wouldn't be a bad idea. You must be a
Not a podcaster.
a podcaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe bring some water. A walking stick would be helpful. Don't expect to see the silo and take the trail that meets the road just before the speed limit sign. And there was a response from the CO. Wow, you found it. Didn't even know that it still existed.
Don't tell the reviewer, but okay.
Right.
Really loved your story about the adventure. I haven't been out there in a very long time. Probably put that there 10 years ago. I'm getting too old to get out there anymore. Thanks for your feedback.
Wow.
So I looked that one up too, and that log was just from this past June and
Okay.
has not been found since. And the previous log was from 2020, which is why she commented about logs written in there from 2022.
Right. Makes sense.
So maintenance
Hashtag
required.
maintenance required.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
So
That is quite the
that one is near Pittsburgh, PA. So
also a short drive from Gilby.
I'm
That's
sure
not far from Gilby. I mean,
Yeah.
Gilby's, near everything.
Gilby's closer to Pittsburgh than we are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, and see the CO commented to her that was Catch a Dream was the CO there.
Catch a dream.
Yeah.
Catch a dream and you're sitting on top of the world.
Yeah. Catch a dream and gotta love tattoos. I always enjoy people's caching names. So much
Yeah.
variety.
If only we had a way to find out how they got them, what they meant.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Ooh.
if they hear us, maybe they'll call in.
Well, we also have a glow from CRS 98 who put one here. And, if you can just go find, the LUID of 95642C5, I could go on, but I won't. You'd come up with a Dwat seeker,
Adroit.
adroit.
These aren't the adroits you're looking for.
They're not
Exactly.
the adroits. Okay. Found the traditional cache, WSGA 2048 North, bad parking along Old Robe Trail. Came down with Cookie Cacher and London Girl to continue to get more of the WSGA caches, focused on the 48 North series. The geocaches in the area of the geocache in the area is just a wreck. It looks like somebody tried to make this a park and grab, which turned out to be an epic fail.
Well, I know that the Land Monkeys found that one. You didn't trash it, did you?
No, but that may be the vehicle we owned before the Jeep. Yeah.
And you just left it there?
Well, I mean, what are you going to do, right? For those who may not be familiar with the cache we're talking about, it's a cache placed at an old car wreck. So thus the jokes. And jokes are always funnier when you have to explain them.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, thank you, CRS98, for sending that in. That was CRS98 who sent that in, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. There you go. Some local BC cachers logged that one there. Speaking of which, how much of the WSGA 20 series have you guys completed?
I did one.
One of the geotours?
One of the geotours, yeah, not just one cache.
I've only actually completed one, but I've got several that are just really close.
Cool. So Jim, is it the
well, it's the one closest to my home, of course.
I was trying to remember not southwest.
Was it South Central, I think?
South Central, yeah.
Yeah, Chris came out here last October and we bit off a big chunk of it. And then when you guys came down for GeoCoin Fest, or no, the Tri-Cities GeoCoin Fest.
Yeah, Tri-Cities, yeah.
We picked up a few more, and that left just a handful. And then Chris came over the next weekend to do the Tri-Cities event, and he and I went and grabbed the ones that we were missing to complete the series. So I have the one geotour, or whatever, yeah.
One of 7.
One of 7.
Awesome.
There are, let's see, there were a good number of people that did 3 geo tours, so they got the coin, and, of course, fewer that did all 7 to get there you got the sunset or the sunrise and the sunset coin. So
Right.
if you did all 7 geo tours, you got the sunset coin.
Yeah. Cool. Well, maybe something interesting to hear from folks. How many of I see Komakino's got 3 of them cleared. Might be interesting some of the Northwest cachers to hear how they're doing on it.
Mhm.
I have learned, Chris, that this is a great way to get people to submit glows because we're getting them coming in like crazy now.
I know, look, gas station tuner may or may not have just sent a glow to Land Monkey.
I may or may not have just seen it in my inbox.
Seaback Tribe sent in a glow by email.
There you go.
And Keats91 says, here's one that you should go read
Oh.
if you want to laugh.
You just made him 3 years older.
There you go.
Wits End, do you want to read this next one? It's a little longer. Now this is a cache put out by O'Joy, and in the next couple of weeks, she's going to have an event to go remove this geocache because it's, fallen in disrepair, and it's a night cache.
Unknown cache payback 12 spider eyes night cache. Sure, I'll give this one a stab here. The log was from No Bucks Ranch, who found this one. And it says, so somehow I managed to make it back to the car and eventually to the hotel to recount this tale. But I suppose we should jump back to the beginning. I came prepared with 2 flashlights, a hiking pole, a GPS, pen, and the determination to stick with this until it was found or I was found by future cachers. Fortunately, the former prevailed, and I didn't happen across any of the latter, but there are lots of places to hide bodies out there. I started at 8:20 p.m. and found the first glints, then the next, and a third. This was going great, even though there really wasn't a defined path. So I'm standing by number 3 or 4, and there's absolutely nothing to be seen in any direction. I tried high, I tried low, I tried left foot in, left foot out, did the hokey pokey and turned it all about, but none of that was helping. I worked my way up and found a bucket and thought, that couldn't possibly be it, could it? Well, no, it wasn't. So nothing left to do but just keep pushing forward and hope to find a glint. Sadly, I went so far that I ended up turning around and going back to the last glint and trying a different direction. Then I did it all again, but this time, off in the far, far distance, I spotted a tiny flash and did my best to head that direction through the thorny vines, stinging nettles, tall grass, and mushy ground. I finally made it and saw another further into the abyss, but this was much harder to get to. At this point, I lost the trail again and decided to just keep going and hope to find something. I waded through grass, got stuck momentarily in a bog, slipped off a log into the water, but kept pushing deeper and deeper into the unknown, and finally, I spotted a glint. Then another. And 2 in the distance. I thought I could bypass the 2 to my right and head straight for the others, but it encountered a deep stream and made my way over to the other glints, where I found an easy way to cross over. A few more glints in, I surveyed the area and spotted 1 glint to the right and 2 more nearby, but then they blinked. I was able to see that this was a deer, wondering what the heck I was doing out here. I spotted another further out and did my best to keep out of the water and mud, but it just wasn't possible, so I gave up and changed my goal to just keeping my shoes on. About 50 feet from another glint, I saw 2 more staring at me, much lower, and thought, another deer. But whatever this was hunkered down and kept staring at me. I made noise, hoping it would just move on, but it just sat there for a few minutes. Eventually, it turned and moved off into the brush, and I had to decide if I wanted to continue on towards that thing that was probably stalking me at this point, or turn back and hope I could make it out. Well, I decided to keep going and soon stood where the eyes were watching me. I spun around to check the area and was pleasantly surprised to find the spider eyes watching me in the cache right there. I must admit, I was a bit nervous as I signed the log and kept looking around to see if something was going to pounce on me. I got ink on the log and everything put back. Now, how to get out of here? I, I definitely didn't follow the same path in and spent more time in the water than on land, but just kept plodding forward. After about 10 minutes, I checked my progress and found that I had gone way left instead of straight, and I was pretty much in the middle of a small lake. After another 15 minutes, I encountered a building surrounded by a fence and hoped there would be a path to or from it that would get me out of this mess. But first, I had to swim to land, fight through blackberries, and get to the other side of the building. I was so happy when I saw a path that led out to the road. Made it back to the car at 9:45 p.m. and I'm definitely happy to have this behind me. But I'll gladly give it a favorite point because it's an adventure that I won't soon forget. Signed log, TFTC.
Wow. Yep, that's an adventure. I don't know, like, at that point where there was something that was crouched down watching me for a while, that might have been the end of the evening. That's
The end of my clean shorts, anyway.
that's an interesting decision point there for sure. Oh my gosh. What an
Keith says,
adventure.
not gonna lie, seeing any glowing-eyed animal in the woods scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, deers are pretty obvious when you see them. Eyes low to the ground, probably a bunny. Yeah, one hopes.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Behind that rabbit.
Yeah.
No, it is the rabbit.
Exactly. Wow, what an adventure. So you guys are saying that that cache is being archived soon?
Yes. There is an
That's it.
actual
Just yes.
archive
Yeah.
party.
That was a very definitive answer.
Yes, of course. And done. Next, move on. I believe it is October 1st. There's an event, and then after the event, which I want to say is like 6:30 to 7, so at 7 in the evening they're going to go out and archive the cache.
Fun. Sounds like a good time.
So if you're interested,
What general region is it in?
Knowing oh joy, it's probably Olympia.
DuPont, I believe.
Okay.
DuPont,
It's
okay.
between Olympia.
Yeah,
and
between
Tacoma.
Tacoma and Olympia.
Right. Okay. I actually knew where that community was thanks
Oh.
to the geo tours.
Yeah.
There
I
you
know
go.
where a lot more communities in Washington are now.
Well, and DuPont, I believe, is also the area of the bloated, festering head of my last victim.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mhm.
We didn't detour for much when we were doing the geo tour. It was pretty much geo tour cache to geo tour cache.
A gas station tuna, I believe, is asking, why is it being archived? Is it just too old? Well, if you ask
Oh,
the cache owner, oh joy, she's just too old to get out there and to maintain it anymore. And you know, some of the glints are either have fallen off or non-reflective over time. You know,
Yeah.
you can get moss overgrowing them and that.
right.
And as the log said, there isn't a real trail out there. So
Right.
I've read several of the logs on this cache, and it could be a show in and of itself. Just reading the logs to this
Do you
this
know,
particular cache.
I learned an interesting fact about night caches, about the reflectors for night caches, often called glints or
Mhm.
other
Fire tax or
fire
yeah.
tags, other brand names. But I learned an interesting fact, probably from this show, from a past guest. But many trees, as they grow, the bark turns, it twists. And so you can have a glint or a night tack put into a tree like right there. And over time, it can now be over there, which I thought that was very interesting. How
And
curious.
if you make those trees mad, they'll pull the apples off and throw them at you, and you'll have something to eat.
Ooh,
Good hobbit trick.
I think it was actually
monkey
a
cakes.
scarecrow trick, but yes.
Monkey cakes is the research department of the show.
Oh,
The
thanks.
archive party event is in Yelm, south of DuPont.
Okay.
Archive party is Spiders, a parking lot archival event. It's an event cache GC ADV PG. That's advanced PG for the rest of us.
It is.
Advanced park and grab.
That definitely sounds like an advanced park and grab, that cache. That's funny. I like that. All right. So how are we doing here? We got a little bit of time left. Do
We're
you want me
filling a
to read
show thanks to the glows.
Want me to read this next one that came in?
Well, this next one is one that Keats put in the show notes, and I was able to track it down.
Okay.
FYI, you can, if you find a log you really like, you can click on it and get just the code to jump directly to that log.
Yeah.
Because this one was found a lot in August of 22.
Yes, it was.
And
Not surprisingly, because it's in Abbotsford.
right. So it took a lot of scrolling to get here.
I bet. Fair enough. Good point. I am very familiar with this story, and it may be because Keats has shared the story with me before. So I was kind of surprised we haven't had this as a glow before, but I guess we haven't.
He
So.
never submitted it until tonight.
Oh,
So thank you, folks. This is why you want to submit glows. You just never know.
You never know if you may need to provide us show filler one night.
Yeah. We also know the hider, don't we?
We also know the hider. Yes, we do. So Keats94 submitted his found log for Voodoo Virtual Reward 2.0. It's GC891 Delta Alpha. All right, so his log commences as such. Okay, so it wasn't so much the experience at Ground Zero that is the story to tell, but my goodness, am I glad this virtual is here, and I'll tell you why. Initially, I was going to tackle this one just before taking off for Edmonton on Friday, but that didn't end up panning out. Fast forward to boarding the plane in Edmonton today, Sunday, I was assigned seat 1F. Good job. Once on the plane, I asked the girl sitting in the middle seat, which was F. It was the window seat, I suspected. I've lost track of what I'm reading here. I asked the girl sitting in the middle seat. Oh, sorry. I dropped a word. All right. I asked the girl sitting in the middle seat, which seat was F? And that was the middle seat, he suspected. She was like, sorry, don't mind me. I'm just trying to untangle my earbuds. I said, no problem. Take your time. All good. Girl in middle seat. So, are you from Edmonton? I replied that I'm from Burnaby and visiting Edmonton for the weekend. Girl in middle seat. Oh, that's cool. I'm from Surrey. What do you do? Me. I work at a screen door company and not for submarines. Girl in middle seat. Oh, that's neat. I'm a paralegal. I travel to Edmonton every 2 weeks. Me. That must be exhausting. Girl in middle seat sighs. Yeah. Hey, has anyone told you you look like a hockey player? Me. Nervous laugh. Haha. Nope. Never. Girl in middle seat. Well, you do. Do you have a girlfriend? This is when Keats94 starts to detect flirt vibes from the girl in middle seat. Really?
Took him long enough.
Wow. That's quite surprising at this point in the conversation. Who has now identified herself as Jenny. Well, after commenting on his eyes and playfully hitting his arm as he was trying to steer the conversation into a more "we're fellow professional passengers being respectful of personal space," she says, I've always had a fear of flying. Do you mind holding my hand for takeoff?
Gas station Tunis they're engaged now.
Well, let's keep reading and find out. Where was I here? This is too good. So Keats has been asked to hold her hand, feeling really uncomfortable at this point, but being the gentleman he thinks he is, he obliged. What am I doing? This is odd. Holding the stranger's hand, we took off, bound for Abbotsford. Once in the air, I tried to find an excuse to let go. I went to grab my Pepsi. She then says, can I sleep on your shoulder? Oh my gosh. I hate saying no to people. So I said, sure. I really put myself in this last flight for a guy sitting I'm reading this incorrectly. I really put myself last in this flight for a guy sitting in the front of the plane. Once at cruising altitude, Jenny falls completely asleep with her mask way off. Yes, because I guess when this was written would have been a time when people are wearing masks on planes. The flight attendant tried to ask her to put it on, but she was out cold. No matter how hard she tried to wake her up, she would not. For a second, we thought she was dead. She's still breathing, the flight attendant yelled, reassuring myself and everyone around me so that we didn't turn into one of those air hearses. Jenny was still asleep, so the flight attendant had to go into the pilot area to get some gloves to pull her mask on properly. Approaching Abbotsford, she woke up for a bit. As soon as we landed, she conked right back to sleep, and with us freshly arrived at the gate, she was just about to wake up. Thankfully, we were at the front, so the door to freedom was close by. Once opened, like a ninja in the night, I snuck by onto the tarmac into the airport and out those arrival doors to the parking lot. And this is when the virtual cache kicks in. I muttered to myself, thank God, yes, I can do Matt's virtual. So I could give myself something to do while the coast was clearing. I'm sure it was weird for some muggles to see a blonde dude, and I'll insert hockey player looking, book it across a big parking lot, going to another plane and not waiting for a car. I hid on the other side of the plane for a bit, checked it out. Very cool, I might add. And thank you for saving my 3 hams in a rose. Your virtual was awesome. I wasn't ready to board the relationship plane today. Happy to be single for the time being.
Komakino, I think, knows her. He's Jenny. Did you get her number? It might be 867-530-9.
There's a possibility.
9. How many syllables on 9?
9. Yes. 4 syllables on 9, I believe.
Okay.
Yes. So Jenny is still breathing, or at least the last we heard. We don't know what happened to her when she arrived in Abbotsford and headed to Burnaby to her paralegal job. So, if Keats wanted to track her down, I bet you he could, really.
It probably wouldn't be that hard.
Every 2 weeks, she's flying to Edmonton and looking for somebody's hand to hold. So, particularly if you look like a hockey player.
Flying as much as she does, you would think she wouldn't be so afraid of it.
You would think.
And apparently, she sleeps well on the plane.
Like a log.
UDAC says, so Keats wasn't into her? Come on.
She was into Keats. We know that.
Was it the teeth? Is that what made him look like a hockey player?
No, because he has teeth. So he wouldn't have looked like a hockey player.
That's right.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that is a funny story. I remember Keats sharing that story not too long after it had happened to him. Poor guy. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
That's right.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Folks, I think we've gone long enough. We're coming up on the hour mark. I can't believe how quickly this can go by.
I really don't think we can top that one either. So.
I'm not even going to try. And
right.
Thank you for sending in these glows. They're great. And again, if I don't get back to you right away, that's because, I like to send you the email that, hey, we used your glow. So you can go, oh, hey, that was just recently. Let me go look and find out where it was in case you didn't listen to the show.
Dude, you got some homework tonight.
Yeah. Maybe I should put the directions for the glow right here in the chat so everybody can get it.
There you go.
2023 glow.
If that's what you would like to do.
I can do that.
All right. Well, we see a few folks have also sent in glows that we didn't get to tonight, but don't worry. If you sent them in, they are added for future consideration. We will get to them in a future episode, and thank you. And don't stop. Just keep sending them in. We don't plan to stop the podcast anytime in the next couple of episods, so we'll probably get to your glow. All right.
There you go. It was a little long and took multiple entries.
That's what she said. All right. So I want to take a moment to thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they are shipping those online orders daily and for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures. Check out exploregoldcountry.com. And don't forget to download the app.
Gotta love that app.
Gotta love that app. All right. Well, we want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, Land Sharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cashly, the geocaching app. Nick from Cashly is a little overdue to come back to the podcast. Hey, we should get him back on.
We should.
All right. Folks, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, remember to go over and click on the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website.
Sorry, I wasn't breathing there for a moment.
I just want to say I'm glad that Cool Cow Cashers jumped up to that level. That's really awesome. I do appreciate that alone, but I also think it's fun that he threw Landmonkey's routine off and forces you to pause, catch your breath, and read it.
I do have to think about what I'm saying. Yes, thank you, Cool Cow Cachers. Also, because it's
scrolled through so quickly before. Yes,
the cacophonic alliteration there does give me pause to consider.
Well, with Cool Cow Cachers and Cashly.
That's right.
Exactly right. And I did note that UDAC caught the TWSS. So thank you. Appreciate that.
TWSS. I think I missed that.
That's what she said.
Okay. I gotcha. Okay. Hey, you talks to rocks. Thank you very much.
And thanks to Trexer.
And thank you, Team Noltex.
Just Carlo.
MC3 Cats.
That's what she said, UDAC.
Green words.
RAR 285.
Mountain Bike.
CRS 98.
Broncos fan for life.
Boomer 365.
LG 9000.
BC Rock Crawler.
Flagman.
Antaeus.
Kitty Quest.
Gas Station Tuna. Oh, sorry, I didn't do it right. Terrible Food, Great Cacher, Gas Station Tuna.
Submitter of the original Glow tonight, geocaches.
Yeah,
she gets the Glow badge.
Ooh, that's right. She paddled for it. New contributor to the patron list here, Nervous Energies.
Welcome to the family. And hey, Ackerdoc, thanks for your support.
Segehove.
B Pendragon.
J-Car.
Logwork.
RE54321.
The man with the maths. It's Limax.
Seebeck Tribe.
Doramore.
Wino Seattle.
Genies.
Alarobrick.
Subaway Merc.
Kev MacD.
Just Finding Our Way.
GSM. Times due.
Oh, the Camp Clan.
Kid Vegas 19.
Something very special coming up soon for this cacher, Geo Nav Pro.
Interesting. Now you have me interested. Like Korsgott.
And Wet Coaster.
M-Nerve.
Peach of Washington. In Washington.
Yes. Welcome to Washington again. And wrapping up the list, Skyhawker.
Thank you, folks, for tuning in. We appreciate all that. And we hope you've enjoyed the time listening to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support to helps keep the quality shows coming. So if you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website. And if you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. We may or may not have a guest for it. In either case, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. You can always call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or, help us out with a glow any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us that glow at feedback@cachingandw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show, just like tonight, and chat, just like tonight. This show's licensed under this show's produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. Now it's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
the after show.
You know, if anybody ever questioned whether this podcast is recorded live or not, I think we've cleared up any misconceptions tonight.
Oh, tonight we definitely have.
I think we've got
you know, I have to admit it flowed pretty well for, changing completely on the fly.
Good pivot. Well done.
Yes. I'm in a swivel chair. I can pivot this way or that.
You have illustrated this clearly.
Keith says, good night. Stay safe. Beware of CDF on a swoop flight from Edmonton.
Yeah.
We do have some FATAS.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Seebeck Tribe is doing a CITO on Saturday. Did you know Seebeck Tribe is doing a CITO on Saturday?
Oh, I love the alliteration.
On the Kitsap Peninsula. I'm planning to be there.
Are you? Awesome.
Why not? Well, I mean, it's a Saturday
Are
CITO.
you asking me for reasons you shouldn't go?
I can't come up with any. That's why I have to go.
Okay.
Were I closer, I would probably try to go.
Yes. Well, that sounds like a fun time. Post some pictures to the Caching in the Northwest page.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Seebeck Tribe sent a glow. We know that. We know Gas Station Tuna sent a glow. We know that Keats sent a glow. Look at all these glows. Here's one from iHam. I just copied that into the glow sheet. Peach just sent in a glow. Okay. iHam says, I discovered a new to us attribute on a cache this evening, not suggested for tourists.
So I know there's a tourist friendly, so I guess there's a negative to
That's
that.
the opposite of not tourist friendly.
Okay.
I didn't know that one.
There you go.
News to me.
I wonder I guess if it's a long hike or it's just
maybe
not a great location. I don't know what would make something not tourist friendly.
That could be, you've done caches along a route, right? Or is it route or route?
Sure.
You look at some of these going, well, that looks like it's just off the highway. And I've looked through the description and they say, this is not right off the highway. Don't go off the highway. You have to get off. You have to go a mile down the side road to get here. Right. Maybe that's one of these.
Because your GPSR says, oh, just pull over on the side of the highway. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's only 200 feet over here.
Over this barbed wire fence.
And a ditch and a cow pasture. Yeah. But other than that.
Or maybe it's just a cache in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah. I think the city's not suggested for tourists right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really? Is there a story here I don't know about?
Oh, it's just crime and mayhem are running rampant there. I saw a story just recently of some traveler was on her way to Bali with all of her worldly goods and had her rental Jeep parked somewhere at a restaurant or something for just a few minutes. And
went in for 4 minutes.
Yeah. Somebody broke into the Jeep and robbed all of her worldly possessions.
That's terrible.
It was to the point, I don't know that they're doing this all the time anymore, but it was to the point that I saw a story. People would park their cars outside a grocery store or whatever, open all the windows in the hatchback of the SUV and leave everything wide open while they went to shop. So people could see that there's nothing in there to take. Don't break my windows. Yeah. Jeez. People are just, smash and grabs in broad daylight.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting terrible.
Had not heard that.
Help me out with the YouTuber that does the science experiments and the glitter bomb. Mark Rober,
yeah.
Did a, glitter bomb for the car with a tracker on it. And, within minutes of leaving it there, they came, even though he left the doors unlocked, they break the back window. They reach and grab the seat and pop it forward to look into the trunk. It's just like, all right, wow. It's just so quick. So anyway,
All right. What else have we got?
Bring us back to a high note.
Yeah.
congratulates Komakino on being a GIF finalist again.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome.
It's just becoming so common that Komakino is a gift finalist.
We just always assume he's going to be in the GIF. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's we joke, but it's a lot of work. As someone who has never been able to get a film finished to get into the GIF, I can definitely attest to the fact that it is a lot of work. Congrats, Komakino.
Congrats to all of them, especially Komakino, who we know.
Yeah.
C. Michelle is another one. And who's the other one we know?
Cache Canada.
Cache Canada.
London Westy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can reach out to some of these folks, have them come on the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Talk about their experiences creating GIF films. That might be fun. Peace Arch event, September 23rd. Oh yeah,
Well,
that's the hands.
This one may be in Georgia. It's actually a peach arch.
Peach, you're right. I didn't read that correctly.
Oh, it's for Peach of Washington.
I was going to say, yeah.
If it's the event, I think it is. It's the annual Hands Across the Border event between the WSGA and the BCGA. I think that's
nice.
That's pretty cool. So awesome.
That one I want to go to. Will you meet us there, Land Monkey?
Maybe.
Yeah, say yes.
Yes.
I believe I once shook Briarland's hand across the border.
Yes, I have pictures of that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
September 23rd. Set your calendars.
I don't know what that was all about.
He was shaking hands.
That's what he was doing.
Now there's a Geo event to celebrate B. Pendragon's 30th birthday.
Nice.
Let's have a whale of a time event. That's GC Alpha Echo 17
Papa.
Thank you. On Sunday, September 24th. Did I say Sunday?
Yes.
Sunday.
I heard Saturday in my head and I knew that wasn't right. Sunday, September 24th in Tacoma. A whale of a time event in Tacoma. I'm thinking it's at the Seven Seas.
I was going to say, I saw it today. It is. Yeah. We've done I've been to a lot of events there. It's a great place to have events.
I've hosted an event there or two. Yeah. It's a fantastic location.
And lots of brews.
All right. Like,
Seven Seas Brewery. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Nice.
That's the FATASs we have marked. Let me jump back here. Romancing the Keats.
Oh, let's not go there. Yes.
Keats has a brainstorm for a GIF. Just a few ideas. It might involve Seat F.
You never know.
Seat F. Just have a GIF reel called Seat F.
That's all it needs to be.
Oh yeah. Anybody from the Northwest will know.
Yep.
They'll cringe like, oh no. What's gonna happen now? GST, what do we got here?
We have a week of coffee events starting this Monday for the Wheel of Challenges. Lots of events, and it will be exhausting. Well, you'll have enough coffee to get through them all.
Indeed. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Or Jenny. We'll just call the thing Jenny.
Jenny, the film. Yeah. Nice.
Jenny F. Jenny and F. Okay.
Oh, Jenny.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next week, get out and get caching.